Hey guys, Coach Jason here. So today's video, I want to go over the criteria of achieving a sub 16 minute 5K. If you've seen my other videos, I put out recently a sub 18 minute and a sub 17 minute and a detailed 12-week plan to achieve both goals. And you notice the progression, or you would notice the progression in training from the one to the next to this one. You'll see some differences, you'll see some similarities. They're all based in periodization, so they're 12-week plans. And they're in blocks of 4 weeks each, and you'll notice some differences, and I break them down in the videos as well. So if you want to take a look at those videos, click the subscribe button and click the bell next to the subscribe button. I also have cross-country training programs, marathon training programs, half marathon training programs, workouts, options for the long distances, half marathon and marathon, and the shorter races, 5K and 10K. I have a video that deals over a 1 mile time trial, which helps determine your fitness and ability level at that current time for races longer than a mile and for races shorter than a mile. And then I also have how to set your appropriate training paces based on a 1 mile time trial, so you know you're training in the right zone. The last thing you want to do is get way ahead of yourself or have your athletes, trying to hang on for dear life, trying to hang out with teammates and so on and so forth. You don't want to be working too hard when your body's not ready for it. So that's why time trials are important. That's why races are important. They're good indicators of your fitness, and it tells you, okay, you're ready to take training up to the next level. So I encourage you to take a look at those. I'm going to attach a bunch of them in the descriptions down below. So please take a look at those videos as well. But anyway, let's get to this, okay? This is a 12-week program. On the side here, and I've used some running calculators and my own calculations based on 20 years of experience as a competitive runner and a coach. To achieve the sub 16 minute training program, this is a ballpark ranges, okay? Your easy runs will be about 7:15 to 6:45 per mile. Your steady runs, 6:45 to 6:15 per mile. It's up to you to determine how you want to set those up and structure them. Tempo runs, generally between 5:40 and 5:35 per mile. And then from threshold running, I have them broken up into 1,000 meters, 1,200 meters, and mile threshold reps. Your kilometers are about 325 to 322, your 1,000 meter reps. Your 1,200s, 406 to 403. And your miles at threshold, 530 to 525. So it's slightly faster than your tempo run pace. And they all have short rest periods in between, which allow you to kind of do high volume and allows you to get the same benefit of tempo running, but at a slightly faster pace, which I do alternate, and you'll see that in this training program. Okay, so let's get to it. Week 1, Monday, 6 miles. Tuesday, 3 mile warm-up drills and strides. Anytime you see D/S, that means drills and strides. A 1,200 meter tempo rep at 4:15 to 4:20, okay, which is this pace, your tempo run pace, not your threshold pace, all right? And what that does is it gets the heart rate up before the meat of the workout, okay? The good thing about a tempo rep or some tempo 200s prior to that is that not only does it get the heart rate up, but it helps you lock into a pace should you have a workout that has goal paces. So if you're doing 6 times 1,000, the last thing you want to do, or what you don't want to do, is take 1 to 2 reps to kind of figure out the pace, and then you're only generally locking in to maybe 4 reps or 3 reps at the pace that you're prescribed. A tempo rep or 200s at tempo or threshold help you kind of get that feel of the pace. You might need 3 reps, and that's totally fine of 200 meters, but it helps determine the pace so you can lock into the workout and get much more of a benefit of the workout. So just an FYI, just a recommendation. It's up to you to utilize it or not. So again, your 1,200 meter tempo, and then you take a 5-minute active recovery, and then we do 6 by 400 meter uphill runs with a jog equal recovery back down. Okay, focusing on good form, good rhythm, generally the same rhythm as you would if you're taking an acceleration into the uphill. Okay, leaning into the hill, pumping your arms, using your knees. Okay, you're leaning into the hill, but your body's still upright when you're leaning into the uphill. Okay, using the ball of your feet, trying to maintain a good rhythm, and then just an easy jog back down. As soon as you get back down, go right back up. Okay, 6 of those reps, 3 mile cool down. 10 miles on Wednesday, 8 miles on Thursday, 5 by 50 meter strides on Thursday after the run. Then Friday, 3 mile warm up drills and strides. 2 by 200 meter at tempo, which is 41 to 42 per rep, okay, just to get the legs moving and get the heart rate up and to lock into the pace. And then 4 mile tempo at 5:35 to 5:40 per mile, okay. And then you take a 3-minute recovery, and then you do 3 by 150 meters with a jog equal recovery just for turnover after your turnover after fatigue from tempo runs or long workouts. Okay, with a jog equal recovery, 3 mile cool down. Long run, a rolling long run, 13 to 14 miles on Saturday. Okay, I'm just going to pick up this pen here. And then a 4 mile easy run on Sunday. Okay, now, again, it's up to you whether this is you following this program or your athletes following this program, depending on whether you're a high volume believer or a moderate volume believer or a low volume believer. You set up the mileage based on what your athletes are not only capable of, what you believe, but where their fitness is at the time. There's an individualization component to this training as well. Not everybody's going to respond the same way to all these workouts, so it's important to identify what somebody might need a little bit more of, a little bit less of, and so on. Okay, so let's get back to this. Week 2, 6 miles, and then Mondays is going to be a consistent easy day, especially if you're coaching athletes that are in school. The first day of the week tends to be a little bit stressful, so I like an easy day on Monday, and you can add some core and strength and abs and stuff like that at the end of that as well, but I like to keep it at a nice easy 6 miles. Tuesday, 3 mile warm-up drills and strides, 1200 meter at tempo again, with the same pace, 4:15 to 4:20, 5-minute active recovery, then 6 by 400 meter uphill runs again. But now we're going to add 4 by 100 meters on the flat afterward to get the legs turning over after they've been running uphill. Jog equal recovery, 3 mile cool down. 10 miles on Wednesday. Thursday, 8 miles, and then a 50, 100, 150, and a 200 meter acceleration afterward with a jog equal recovery. It gets slightly longer as it goes on. Okay, it's by feel right now. Okay, Friday, 3 mile warm-up drills and strides, 2 by 200 meter at threshold, which is 40 to 41 with a jog equal recovery. And then we're going to do 6 by 1,000 meter efforts with a 1 minute recovery at threshold pace, which is 325 to 322. Okay, and then after that, you take a 3 minute recovery after the last one, and then you do 2 by 400 meters with a 200 meter jog at 3K pace, which is 72 to 73, or 3K equivalent pace, based on a sub-16 5K. All right. Week 3. Saturday, long run, rolling, 13, 14 miles. And then Sunday's an off day. I plug in an off day every other week in here. Okay, and then an easy day on the alternate week to make sure that you're training and recovering at the same time. And just as an FYI, if you're training and recovering appropriately all along, you do not need to make drastic changes at the end of the season hoping to achieve some magical peak or some magical breakthrough. It doesn't work like that. Your body needs time to adapt to any change in training stimulus, whether it's increasing it or decreasing it. Okay, and that's why I have these in 4-week blocks. It takes about 21 to 28 days. You could do 4 3-week blocks or 3 4-week blocks, but at the very least, your body needs 21 to 28 days. And if you make a drastic change in the last week or two of the season, your body is not going to have enough time to respond to it. All right, so just as an FYI. And by the way, watch this entire video if you're up to this point. Not just the last minute or so. The detail is consistent, but you notice the changes throughout the video, and I explain everything on all of my videos as well. So if you're going to watch other videos, I encourage you to watch the entire video, okay? So that you don't miss any content. All right, so week 3, 6 miles on Monday, Tuesday 3 mile warm-up drills and strides, 1200 meter at tempo, 5-minute active recovery, 8 by 400 meter uphills now, so we added 2 reps. Okay, with an equal jog recovery, cool down of 3 miles. 10 miles Wednesday, 8 miles Thursday, 3 by progression 150s with a jog equal recovery, so each 50 meter gets faster. So you can float for 50, stride for 50, and sprint for 50 if you like to do it that way. And you can jog back or walk back, whichever is most appropriate for you and your athletes. Okay? And then Friday, 3 mile warm-up drills and strides. 2 by 200 meter efforts with a jog equal recovery at at tempo, which is 41 to 42 per rep, which is about a second slower than your threshold effort per rep. Okay, then a 4.5 mile tempo at 5:35 to 5:40 per mile, so we added a half mile to that tempo. Only if you're able to handle it, if your athletes are able to handle it. If they needed another 4 mile tempo, that's fine. Even if you need to start them at a 3 mile tempo, that's fine, and work your way up. It really depends on the fitness of your athletes. Okay, I'm just using this as a template that you can follow and modify to make your own. So 4.5 mile tempo at 5:35 to 5:40, 3 minute recovery, then 4 by 200s with a jog equal recovery at 33 to 34 which is about a mile, the mile equivalent. It's about a 4:36 mile if you're 16 flat or faster for the 5K. All right, 4:35 to 4:36. Then a 3 mile cool down. Saturday, a long run rolling, 13 to 14 miles. 4 miles easy on Sunday. All right. Week 4, 6 miles on Monday. Tuesday, 3 mile warm up drills and strides, 1200 meter at tempo. Okay, or rest 5. Remember the tempo pace up here, 4:15 to 4:20. Then you take a 5-minute active recovery. 8 by 400 meter uphill. So we're going to repeat this uphills, but now we're adding 6 by 100 meters on the flat afterward, with a jog equal recovery for both components, and then a 3 mile cool down. Okay, remember the goal is to turn over on the flat after you've been running uphills to get your legs back into rhythm. All right, 11 miles on Wednesday, so we added a mile to that. It's called I call it an intermediate run, or like a semi-long run. I like to have those as well. 8 miles remains on Thursday. 6 by 100 meter strides, jog equal recovery by feel. Friday, 3 mile warm up drills and strides. Then 2 by 200 meter jog equal recovery at threshold, 40 to 41. Then 5 by 1200 meter at threshold, okay, which is 406 to 403, with a 75-second recovery. So we added 15 seconds to the recovery. And then afterward, you're going to do 2 by 400 meters with a minute recovery, 1 minute recovery at 3K pace, which is 72 to 73 per rep, and then a 3 mile cool down. So the volume's the same by 5 by 1200 versus 6 by 1000, but you're spending more time in the threshold zone. Okay, that's the goal here. So if we increase the reps again, we go to 4 times a mile. You're spending more time in the threshold zone, and that's the goal. It takes you a while to get into threshold zone. And the goal is to increase the amount of time you spend there by increasing the amount, either increasing the amount of reps that you do or increasing the volume of the rep that you're doing. All right. Saturday, long run, rolling 13, 14 miles, consistent long run every week. Okay. Off day on Sunday. If the long run was much higher, then I would either alternate, with a 12 miler or something on the alternate week. The longer the long run is, the more an extra day or so you might need a recovery. You might need to make a little bit of modification in the following week's training. Just as an FYI. That's just my personal opinion from experience as well. So let's take this down now. Notice the consistency in the long runs. Okay, we've added hills and tempo and threshold. This first block. All right. Now I'm going to take this down. Let's get to the next block of 4 weeks. All right. I'm going to put this up, and you'll notice. All right. Some differences here, some similarities and some differences. All right. Excuse the smudge there. I just wiped it out my hand. But you won't miss anything. So week 5, 6 miles, constant. Tuesday, 3 mile warm-up drills and strides, 2 miles. Now it's up tempo, okay, which is slightly slower than tempo run. So up tempo is 550 to 545 per mile to get the heart rate up. All right. Then we take a 5-minute recovery, and then we're going to do 10 by 200 meter uphill. So we shortened the tempo component. I mean, we lengthened the tempo component, but we shortened the hill rep. Okay, so we kind of switched it around a little bit. So it's 10 by 200 meter uphill runs with a jog equal recovery, the same focus, 3 mile cool down. 11 miles on Wednesday, 9 miles now on Friday. We increased that by a mile. Okay, then a 200, a 150, a 100, and a 50 acceleration with a jog equal recovery. So we reversed it from going shorter to longer to shorter. All right. Friday, 3 mile warm-up drills and strides, 2 by 200 meters with a jog equal recovery at tempo, which is 41 to 42 per rep. Then a 5 mile tempo or 4 mile tempo, whichever wherever your athletes need to be, at 535 to 540 per mile with a 5-minute active recovery. And then 4 by 300 meters with a 100-meter jog at 3K pace, which in this case is 54 to 55 per rep. Okay. Remember all along too, these paces are paces that this is where you would be at for sub 16. So if you're not there, these are paces you want to work towards to achieve the sub 16 goal. So it really depends on where your athletes are at. That's why I emphasize doing a 1 mile time trial, because it helps determine where your athletes are at or where you're at, and so you can set the appropriate training paces. And if you're 30 seconds off or so on, then you start these things at a slower pace and you build towards the sub 16 goal. So keep that in mind. All right? Body needs to be ready to progress. So Saturday, long run rolling, 13 to 14 miles, and then 4 miles easy on Sunday. Week 6, 6 miles on Monday, Tuesday, 3-mile warm-up drills and strides. Again, a 2-mile up tempo at 5:50 to 5:45. We elevate that heart rate. All right, get the legs moving. 5-minute active recovery. Then 10 by 200 meter uphill runs again, but now we're adding 2 by 200 meters on the flat afterward. Okay, with a jog equal recovery at 33 to 34, which is mile pace. Okay, 3-mile cool down. Get the legs turning over after the hill runs. Wednesday, 11 miles. Thursday, 9 miles, 5 by 50 meters on the flats with a jog equal recovery. Friday, 3-mile warm-up drills and strides. 4 by 200 meter efforts at threshold with a jog equal recovery, which again, 40 to 41. And then we're going to do 4 times a mile at threshold now, okay, which is at 5:30 to 5:25 per rep with a 90-second recovery. So we added 15 seconds as we gone up again. And then 4 by 200 meters at 33 to 34 with a jog equal recovery with a 3-mile cool down. Now the difference between this and 4 times a mile at pace, if you're doing 4 times a mile or 3 times a mile at goal pace, the reps would be significantly faster. You would need more recovery, probably 3 to 4 minutes in between, and you would likely need an extra day of recovery on the back end to come back either for a race or a workout. That's the benefit of threshold. You might need a day less. It's generally 48 to 72 hours to recover from threshold work. You might need 72 to 96 hours to recover from a hard workout. So it's just another thing to keep in mind. You can do more volume at threshold pace than you would at race pace. All right? So rolling long run, 13 to 14 miles on Saturday, and then an off day on Sunday. Week 7, 6 miles on Monday, 3-mile warm-up on Tuesday, drills and strides, 2 miles up tempo again, okay, at 5:50 to 5:45. Get that heart rate up, 5-minute recovery. Then 12 by 200 meter uphill runs now with a jog equal recovery, cool down 3 miles. 12 miles on Wednesday, so we increased that a little bit by a mile. 9 miles on Thursday, 6 by 100 meter strides, jog equal recovery, nice and smooth. Friday, 3-mile warm-up drills and strides, 3-kilometer effort at 5K race pace, or your goal 5K pace, which is about 9:34 to 9:30 for that 3K. Okay, you want to see how you're progressing at this point. You should be able to do 3 kilometers at your goal 5K pace and how it feels, and it'll help determine what we need to do moving forward to finish. Okay, then a 6 to 8 minute active recovery, and then 8 by 400 meters, or 6 to 8 by 400 meters with a 1-minute recovery at 3K pace, which is 72 to 73 per rep, just clockwork. 3-mile cool down. Okay. Saturday, long run again, rolling 13 to 14 miles. Sunday, 4 miles easy. Week 8, 6 miles on Monday. Tuesday, 3-mile warm-up drills and strides. Again, 2 miles up tempo at 5:50 to 5:45 per mile. 5-minute active recovery. Then 12 by 200 meter uphill runs. We're repeating that workout, but we're adding 4 by 200 meter flat on the back end with 33 to 34 seconds, okay, which is mile pace with an equal jog recovery. 3-mile cool down. 12 miles Wednesday. Thursday, 9 miles, 5 by 50 meter strides. Friday, 3-mile warm-up drills and strides. 2 by 200 meter with an equal jog recovery at threshold, so 40 to 41, right? Then 2 sets of 1200, 800, 400. And if you add them up combined, it adds up to 3 miles, all right? The 1200 is done at 5K pace with a 2 or 3 minute recovery afterward. The 800 is done at 3K pace with a 2-minute recovery afterward. And then the 400 is done at mile pace with a 6-minute jog after that 400 because it's between that and the next set. Okay, and then you repeat the same sequence in the next set. 3-mile cool down. Okay, Saturday long run, rolling 13 to 14 miles. Sunday's a day off. Okay, so this is cycle 2 now, the most intense cycle. So we've added a little bit to the intermediate run, but we've got more intense in the workouts. Okay, we've shortened the hill workouts, but we've added up-tempo running on the front end. Okay, and we've added some race pace specific stuff in here, and a little bit more intense threshold work. So slight modification in this cycle too, to adapt to. Now, I'm going to take this down, and we're going to go to the last 4 weeks of training, okay, leading up to the goal 5K, or the championship season 5K, however you want to call it. All right, week 9, 6 miles again, Monday. Tuesday, 3-mile warm-up drills and strides. 2 by 200 meter efforts at tempo with a jog equal recovery, so 41 to 42 per rep. And then 9 to 10 by 600 meter efforts with a 2-minute recovery at your 5K pace. In this case, is 153 to 154 per rep. Just lock in and lock in and lock in at that race. 600-meter efforts are good efforts to really callous pace into for a 5K. 3-mile cool down. 12 miles Wednesday, 8 miles Thursday with 5 by 50 meter strides. We cut that Thursday run back a little bit. Friday, 3-mile warm up, drills and strides. 2 by 200 meter efforts at threshold. All right, which is 40 to 41 with a jog equal recovery. Then I'm going to do a 5-mile progression run. We're going to start at slower than tempo pace and finish faster than tempo pace. Or it could be a 4-mile progression run. Okay, or let's just say 4 to 5 miles. So we start at 550, okay, which is about 10 seconds slower than the slowest end of the tempo range, down to 525, which is 10 seconds faster than the fastest end of the tempo range. So 550 to 525, a nice progression. 5-minute active recovery, and then 4 by 150 meter efforts with a jog equal recovery to turn over after fatiguing from the progression tempo, and then a 3-mile cool down. Long run, 13 to 14 miles rolling on Saturday, 4 miles easy on Sunday. Week 10, we're almost there. 6 miles on Monday, 3-mile warm up on Tuesday, drills and strides, 2 by 200 meter at tempo, 41 to 42 with a jog equal recovery. Then we're going to do a little bit of a climber and then a dropper. 600 meters at 3K pace with a 2-minute recovery. 1,000 meters at 5K pace with a 2:30 recovery. And then a mile at 5K pace with a 3-minute recovery. Then back down to the 1,000 with a 2:30 recovery at 5K pace. And then a 600 at 3K pace. Okay, and you're going to take a 2:30 recovery after that last 1,000, between the 1,000 and the 600. So moving up and then back down. So it's 600, 1,000, mile, 1,000, 600, also adding up to 3 miles. Okay, and the 3-mile cool down. 11 miles Wednesday, 8 miles Thursday, 5 by 100 meter strides afterward, jog equal. 3-mile warm-up drills and strides on Friday, 2 by 200 meters at tempo, 41 to 42, all right, with a jog equal recovery. And then a 4-mile tempo at 535 to 540 with a 5-minute recovery actively, and then 1 800-meter hard effort at the end there to simulate kicking from further back in a 5K race. Sometimes you need to take the sting out of those kickers, all right? So this helps to simulate doing such a thing. And then a 3-mile cool down. Long run, 13 to 14 miles rolling. This is the last long run of 13 to 14 miles on Saturday. Off day Sunday, okay? Week 11, we got 2 weeks left. 6 miles on Monday, 3-mile warm-up drills and strides on Tuesday, 2 by 200 meter efforts at threshold, which is 40 to 41, jog equal recovery, and then a mile at 5K goal pace, all right, which is about 5:05 per mile, 5:05-ish, and then with a 4-minute active recovery, and then we're going to do 3 by 800 meters with a 2-minute jog recovery at 5K to 3K pace. So in this case, it's going to be about 237 to 230. Okay, 237. Actually, 237 to 228. 237 to 228. And then 4 by 200 meters jog equal recovery at 33 to 34 seconds, which is mile pace. 3-mile cool down. So we've gone from 5K pace to about 3K pace down to mile pace. We progressively got faster in the workout. Okay. And that's about 10 days out or 11 days out from the race. 10 miles on Wednesday, cut that back a little bit. 8 miles on Thursday, 5 by 50 meter strides. Friday, 3-mile warm-up, drills and strides, 2 by 200 meter efforts at tempo, which is 41 to 42, jog equal. And then you're going to do a 1,000 meter effort at threshold, 325 to 322. Take 90 seconds recovery. And then 5 by 600 meters, okay? So we cut that 600-meter component in half with a 200-meter jog at 5K pace, so 153 to 154. Lock into that pace the week before the race. 3-mile cool down. Cut the long run back to 11 to 12 miles rolling on Saturday and 4 miles easy on Sunday. Week 12, it's race time, baby. 6 miles on Monday, 3-mile warm-up drills and strides on Tuesday. And then you're going to do 2 by 200 meter jog equal recovery at threshold, so 40 to 41 to warm up, get the heart rate up, and then 4 by 800 meter efforts with a minute recovery at threshold pace, okay, which is 242 to 245 per rep. It's good to do threshold work the week of a race. It's non-invasive. You can aid in recovery, and you can also do something at the end to finish hard without taxing your legs too much before the race. So in this case, it's 1 by 400 meter effort hard. So not only you practice kicking from 800, you practice kicking from 400 as well. And then a 3-mile cool down. 7 miles on Wednesday, so we cut that back a little bit. Off day on Thursday, since the race is on Saturday instead of the off day being Sunday. We just moved it up a little bit. 3 to 4 miles easy on Friday with some strides. 3 by 50 meter strides easy. Nice and relaxed afterward. And then Saturday, 3-mile warm-up drills and strides. The goal 5K race or championship season 5K race. 3-mile cool down to flush out the legs. And I do recommend doing about a 3-mile easy shakeout the day after just to flush out the legs from the race. And again, this may not be the only race you run in the season. You can easily plug in a race for one of these workouts. And if you're not doing races, then I highly encourage you to do maybe a time trial of some sort, which is why I plugged in that 3K in there to see where you're at in terms of progression. So, but it's completely up to you based on your athletes you're working with or yourself. So I hope this video is helpful. I hope it gives you some data, some information. You notice some progression in 4-week blocks. Take a look at the other videos because they're going to give you a lot of insight as to how I progress from one level to the next, because it is important. Periodization is very important, and gradual progression is very important. And then I will attach a bunch of videos down below. I highly encourage you to read them because it helps determine how I set these paces. It helps determine how to get from sub 17 or sub 16 or sub 18 to sub 17. And the next video I'll be posting will be a sub 15 minute 5K. So you may have athletes that you work with that are in all these ranges. So you might find something in here that's helpful to all of them. So if you like this video, if you enjoyed it, please click the like button. And again, please click the subscribe button. So it shows me that you find the content valuable, and then click the bell next to it so that you know anytime I post a new video. I love doing this stuff. As a 20-year former competitive runner and a current coach, I am a USATF certified track and field coach, and I'm also a Wharton certified musculoskeletal flexibility therapist. So, but minus the credentials. Credentials don't really mean anything if the results aren't there and if the information isn't there to back it up. So. I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a great season, and I'll talk to you next time.